I read an article in the paper a couple of weeks ago, and it was about some research from this group called Casper. And what Casper had discovered was that during the Rugby World Cup, suicides in New Zealand virtually stopped. What they concluded is that the World Cup brought about what they call social cohesion. It brought people together. It gave people something bigger than just themselves to belong to. People were united in supporting their team, and therefore they felt less isolated, and therefore they felt better about themselves, and so less people took their own lives during the Rugby World Cup. But here's the interesting thing. It's interesting that Hugh should mention the earthquake this morning. They found that after the Christchurch earthquakes, after 9/11, and after the London bombings, times that you would have thought people might have felt more depressed and down, they actually found the same result happened. Less people took their own lives after those disasters for the same reason. Those disasters brought about social cohesion. Those disasters brought communities together. People looked after each other. People shared their stuff. And what Casper calls social cohesion is what I would call Ubuntu. That's what Ubuntu is about. This African term which is so hard to explain. But it encompasses ideas like belonging and acceptance and feeling valued. It's about kindness to each other. It can be defined as humanity towards others, but it's also bigger than that. It's about being part of something. In our Western culture, we can be very me-focused, very isolated. I am who I am, and I'm a self-made person. Whereas the idea behind Ubuntu says, I am who I am because we are who we are. I'm part of something bigger, and I'm connected to you. So I acknowledge my humanity when I acknowledge it in others. That means when I don't acknowledge it in others, or when I diminish another human being, I diminish myself. Because I am who I am, because we are who we are, and we're all connected. We are all human beings made in the image of God. And God did not make us to live in isolation. Right at the very beginning, God made a companion for Adam because it wasn't good for him to be on his own. He needed company. And so we are social beings. We long for social cohesion, but I don't want to wait till another disaster happens to bring that about. And I certainly don't want to wait for another Rugby World Cup, because I'm over the Rugby World Cup. So my question for you this morning is, how do we have that? How do we live Ubuntu and encourage that in our communities now, rather than waiting for something else to happen? We'll come back to that a little bit later.